Hello, you guys. Can you give it up for the Ukrainian team once again? So we represent Central America and the Caribbean. My name is Hansel.
My name is Omar.
I am Baruch.
So if you're wondering why we got the permission to be three of us up here, is because our region is literally three persons. So it's gonna be weird if one of us stays down. So we're all gonna present today. So next slide, please.
We are inclusive like that.
Exactly. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Central America and the Caribbean. Uh, well, can you please present the PDF I sent through email? No? Okay. Well, no problem. We made some changes, whatever. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Central America and Caribbean, including Mexico. So the region we're representing is, if you see the map, is from Mexico, that little thing, and all the islands that are in the ocean. So that's the region we're representing. And you should know that our average age is around 29 years old. We have a population of over 200 million, and even if you cannot imagine that, we have over 24 countries. So we have updated data, so don't pay attention to the screen. Now it's updated, thank you. Genius, it happened. So let's talk about what we came to.
So the problems that we were talking about yesterday that we identified from our zone, it's that almost everybody knows about Jesus, but there's a lack of discipleship. For example, Puerto Rico, it's an island where I'm coming from of 3 million right now. If you ask any random person, tell me about the gospel, the person will know the gospel. There's no discipleship and there's not a vivid gospel going on. There's segregation among the church. We are establishing like mini kingdoms, like each pastor or denomination, instead of like establishing the kingdom of God as one. There's very little collaboration between, all generations right now. And that's not only a problem that the church has, but also in the society. No, there's not bridges between generations. There's a discrepancy between the gospel that we preach and the gospel that we are living. And also we found that the gospel that we are preaching is more about theological matters and not about the reality of society. It's not that relevant in that way. We're not solving the social problems and the needs that society actually have. Even being in the same region and being neighbors, it's really hard to connect with other countries, especially in the Caribbean. It's very hard. I mean, we talk about the Caribbean all the time, but we are not actually connected. The Caribbean, so many islands, some belong to France, some belongs to, England, the US, and some are like countries in their own. But for me to get from Puerto Rico to, let's say, Guadeloupe, I don't even know how you do that. And it's an island in the Caribbean. Martinique. There are so many islands, and there's not even transportation between them. So the Caribbean itself, it's like something that is not connected. It's cheaper for me to go to Europe from Puerto Rico than to go to another island nearby. Yeah, it's crazy like that. And also, the upcoming generations are definitely not part of the conversation. They're not a priority in the church right now. And when working with younger generations, their opinion is not included. So basically, this is the list of problems or issues that we identified.
And with the next slide, please. So when we talk about the change that we want to create in this generation, we want to embrace what we talked in the last couple of days on how our younger communities are connected, like globally. So we want to really accomplish that on our local church. That's a change. Like sometimes we are so close and we are not seeing how people and young people especially are actually connecting. We don't know how to connect with them. That's a change we want to create. Also, Straighten the entrepreneur's personal connections. I know it might sound different because we're talking about this connected globally, but it's also really important to have these interpersonal relationships. Also, it's really important for us, the change, we want to make God relevant again. As Hassan mentioned before, everybody knows Jesus, everybody knows God, but it's not relevant on our community. Also, this is one of my favorites. We want to reformat how church evangelizes, how we make disciples, how we do missions. We need to create strategies on the platform that our generation is. We cannot make missions in, I don't know, in universities or whatever we want to be, wherever they are. Video game mission, I don't know if that exists, but we want to make that change. We want to have a generation that understands how to influence, like people that we have in our church. We want to see the change so they understand how to influence their friends. Obviously, less religion, please. I don't have to say more about that. And also, with the people that are in our churches, we want to create a heart for evangelism. In Latin America, you either love evangelism or you don't give, I don't know how to say it. You don't care. So we want a change in our young Christians. So they really care about their friends. They really care and reach their peers. And definitely create a church identity that embraces our current culture. So these are the changes that we want to see.
Okay, we're going to talk about what our region can contribute to the globe. And something special in Central America and the Caribbean is the diversity. We are a region made of many cultures, many languages, many backgrounds, and we are living together, working together, and it's something that we can offer to the world. We can work together and be in a family. And the next is related. It's our warming and welcoming personality. Yeah, we know how to make friends so easy. We love to share food, and one of our strategies, sharing the gospel, is eating with people. Because after the meal, we have a deep conversation with the people. And we love to do, in our Mexican culture, we love to start good friendship, and it helps us to do evangelism. And the other thing is empathy with the ones in need. You know, in our region, we have a lot of poverty and suffering. And when we have been living this life, we can understand the people in Ukraine. Because, for example, in Mexico, it's not in war, but we have more people dead than a country in war. Because the violence, the narco traffic, and we can understand. And we need to do ministry there, and our scares make us, brothers and sisters. And the other hand, our culture is impacting all the world. For example, it's negative. I don't like reggaeton, but it's the number one type of music around the world. You can go to Europe, Asia, and the people it's singing Despacito and things like that. And I know it's a bad message, but we can use it as a tool to share the gospel, even the salsa and merengue, And we are a culture that we have an easygoing and out-of-the-box way of thinking. We can change, we can make a lot of different things at the moment. And, our people have a lot of passion and service. We love to help, to see to the others as a friend and a good opportunity to share the gospel with the service.
Yeah. So reggaeton is from Puerto Rico. You're welcome. The world didn't ask for it, but we provide it anyways. What we need help with, basically training and creating opportunities like, this one, Next Move for Leaders through our region. Learning better ways to raise economic resources. Having access to more success stories and information from other regions that we can, learn from.
Yeah, that part is like in soccer, for example, if the Mexico team is motivated, we can beat Germany. And that translates to the church. If our church is motivated, we can go and preach whoever you tell us. But if we're not motivated, we don't do anything. We need to learn how to be self-sustaining. Latinos, Mexico, Central America, that's something we work with. Also, what we talk, we have to create more literature made for us to share with us. Being so close to the US, we have all these different Bible studies, and you start reading with your team the Bible study that says, we were in youth camp in this university, and that doesn't happen in Latin America. So we need to create things with our context. Better long-term planning. And last one.
And learning how to create bridges between all generations. We need to have the opportunity to work together and not being divided. We need to reach that goal.
So most of the group were afraid of music, right? They don't want the music to be played, but we actually embrace it. So can you play Christian reggaeton so people have a taste of it? Thank you, you guys. You can dance to it if you want to. There it is. It's actually from Puerto Rico, so thank you.